on?
When they call you up. Okay.
Okay, good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order, and then I will suspend the meeting to open it up to public comment. First on the agenda, we have Mary Colombo. Is she here today? Mary? Hi, Mary. Just come up to the podium. Just name and address, please, for the record. There's a button there to put the microphone on.
On the base.
At the base of the,
Tap it. Tap it. There you go.
Okay. I'm Mary Colombo. I'm a teacher at Trumbull High School, and I'm here in regards to a potential fundraiser we're hoping to have at Toshua Knowles, a pickleball fundraiser for our class of 2026. Okay. So I guess I'm here to get approval from the board and also to see any potential dates and anything we have to do on our end to make the fundraiser happen.
was it, I don't think it was last month, two months ago, we had your correspondence, and I believe we approved that. We approved that with the stipulation that we just needed to know more about dates and, but we did discuss that.
Yep.
But we didn't know, when you wanted to have it or what the best venue was. I think they were saying Unity may have been better.
Don't really know.
Yeah, she'll pull it up, but I think we did approve that.
Okay, yeah, I heard it was approved. I was supposed to come to get, the details.
We needed
worked
more
out.
specifics and dates, and basically, what we would do is if we approved it, then you would work with the recreation department, setting up the dates and times, and
Okay, so I emailed them.
or go in there, yeah.
So I think the question I have written down here was it in the fall or the spring? This spring or the fall?
Yeah, well, so I guess that was our question for. I'm not sure how this works. So we are hoping to do it this spring, but if we have to do it in the fall, then we're pretty flexible with that. We don't have any particular dates in mind. We are waiting on to find out what availability is.
And what times did you want?
So, I mean, obviously that would depend on the date. If it's possible for us to get a Saturday, then ideally early afternoon. This is like our first step. We don't know how many people will be doing this because we need a date before we can ask people to sign up. So we've just started the process of figuring things out.
Is this to raise money for the prom and
Yeah.
things like that?
Yeah, for the
class
trip.
of, yeah.
Yeah, so we're opening the fundraiser up to all students in the school, not just students of that class, and then faculty as well. It'll be teams of 2, and it'll be a tournament, is what we've talked about so far with our student board.
All students in the school?
I'm sorry?
Uh,
Yeah, we'll open it to any grade level can enter, yep.
A lot of kids.
Possibly, I mean, for them to
2,000 kids.
Yeah, but to pay money to go on a Saturday we'll cut it off, obviously, if we get that much interest, but from past experience, it's, it's still kind of a niche.
So it would be formalized and scheduled. It's not 500 kids would show up and want to
No,
play.
it would be a bracket system. Once you lose, you're out kind of thing. We'd make the bracket based on how many teams we get. Like I said, depending on the day and time, if it's a weekend, then that's already going to limit a lot because they'll have other plans on the weekend or if they're involved in other school activities.
Okay. Yeah, here's from the minutes, pickleball fundraiser. Noreen sent us the correspondence and asked the class advisor to speak with the commission before completing the request form. And comments were Tashua may be good with 8 courts and the lighting. Response, Kyle was there that month, the chief ranger. Tashua doesn't have much parking, will likely be busy. We would need to know a month in advance for scheduling around the pickleball schedule. Any tournament is typically considered a group 10 and would charge $20 per hour per court. And that's where we were because we didn't really know any other details at that point.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have any input on that as far as one of the better venues?
There we go. No, it really would depend on the time of year that you wanted to do it, what other things were scheduled to be there. If it was at Tashua, we often run lessons on those courts, so we would have to see really what you were looking for, at various times of the year, and then maybe we'd be able to guide you better as to what would be least impactful. I can't honestly agree that Tashua doesn't have sufficient parking. We sort of encroach on the larger parking areas pretty regularly up there. So depending on what was happening on any given day, I think Tashua would probably offer you the greater amount of court space if it was available versus Unity. Unity, we still don't know when we're going to be doing paving down there this year. So there's a few mysteries around that facility. And Island Brook is certainly, I would think, too small. So I think Tashua would probably be your best option.
Okay, so then as far as getting a date, who do I reach out to?
Yeah,
for that?
we'll discuss it tonight, and if we approve it, then you need to speak with the recreation department and work out dates and times with them, because they know what's going on at the specific parks on certain days that we aren't privy to that schedule.
I would suggest you just put together a few different options that you think might work for you before you call rec. That way you have more tools at your disposal, and we kind of can work through the options like in real time.
Okay. Okay.
This is just the students and teachers at the school?
Yes.
Are you planning on having different levels or just be open?
Yeah, I think we'll just leave it open. I think so many people might not know their level. I don't know how, some people will, of course, but it's just, just for fun, school, similar like a dodgeball tournament. You just sign up and hope you get what you get. Yeah, nothing too official.
Definitely a worthy cause. I think you could do well with that, actually.
We're hoping, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? No. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda, Alex Relkin, Trumbull Center Fire Department.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I usually sit in the back. I'm here representing the Trumbull Volunteer Fire Company, also known as the Trumbull Center Fire Department. What we are looking to do, I'm pretty sure it was in your correspondence, we're looking to do a touch-a-truck at Unity Park. So this was for our 100th anniversary this year. It's 100 years of the fire company. And this would not be a fundraiser for the company. However, we would accept donations. This is just something that we've been talking about. If anybody wants a map, I do have physical maps if you haven't seen the correspondence. So basically what I'm trying to do is I want to utilize the parking lot from Bayberry, the pickleball parking lot we'll call it, and the lower parking lot that is Millings. Now, as it was just brought up, I understand that there is paving this year. I don't know if that will be a problem, but I guess a backup plan could be considered Indian Ledge. Just so you guys know, the map does show food trucks. I don't want to put food trucks in. That would be like a caterer, and I would happily use anyone the town suggests. That's because you have the gazebo down there. Just put a caterer there, and anybody that wants to buy like a burger, dog, whatever. Again, not a fundraiser, but we will accept donations. Oh, and I'm sorry, the date is June 7th. Apologies. June 7th with a rain date of the following day. We have been trying to talk to Little League. We've been in contact with Little League, and they haven't given us the yes or no with what they're going. They haven't put their schedule out yet. So I'm trying to get a step ahead and get this, on the docket for you guys.
The thing is, Babe Ruth's right there too, as well as Little League.
Yeah, and obviously they would be invited just to come over as well. I'm just, first couple plans I had unfortunately fell through, and we're trying to stay within our fire district, and Unity is. Worst case scenario, like I said, we could do Indian Ledge, but that's not my fire district.
The only thing I note here is where the truck setup is
Yes.
where all the parking is.
What do you mean?
it looks like where your truck setup is the gravel
Correct, the
parking
Millings- the
lot.
Millings lot around back,
The
correct,
Millings lot, that's the parking lot.
I understand. That's why I was going to use the Bayberry lot right there, right by the tennis court. I don't anticipate it being a ton of people. And worst case scenario, I could have the rest of the people park on Bayberry. Because I have to make way for Little League or Babe Ruth.
I mean, it's a good idea because you would probably get a lot of spillover from the Little League games coming over
That's the goal.
to view the trucks. That would be a nice.
That's the goal. And this
That
is not just fire trucks. This is, cranes and machines, and it's for all, you name it. Kids like that stuff.
Oh, the Little Leaguers would like.
So do we.
Yeah. Plus, it could
So do we.
could be good for recruitment too.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be a big event, like from fire departments all throughout the state, but we had to scale it back, and this just appeared to be our best option. So we hope you guys consider it.
The week is that?
So June 7th is a Saturday, and the rain date would be that Sunday. So I would say, like, the goal is unity, and if unity for some reason doesn't work, the backup would be Indian Ledge, and I can figure out a map if you guys need it.
And in your ledge, you probably put the trucks above the dog park there, that parking lot
Yeah,
to the right.
yeah,
to the
exactly.
right of
Again, the
bathroom.
Millings, and then everybody would just park wherever.
Right, which would be plenty of parking.
Yeah. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, do you have a time frame?
Well, so that's the thing, is I'm trying to be a little fluid with the time, because with the baseball and whatnot going on, I don't know what their schedule is going to be like. Ideally, morning time, but I with the time of year, I could happily shift to like evening, like an early evening kind of thing, as long as there's light out, natural light.
Is that date like hard and fast? Is that the day that they're doing everything that you were just mentioning? Is it the national or regional?
I don't know.
Touch a truck.
For us?
You had mentioned that it was supposed to be part of a larger.
No. Yeah, yes, yeah. No, that was still our event, but I could potentially change the date, but that was just the original goal, was that date.
Yeah, I was asking if there was flexibility in the event that there was an issue with whatever. Is there a
Potentially.
tournament going on? Or
Yeah,
something
we
like
haven't
that?
sent anything out yet, so potentially, sure.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on that with the paving?
I'm going to see your fearless leader tomorrow to try to get some sense of what he's looking to do to get economy of scale. If he's in a certain area at a certain time, then he'll be in unity at that time. But I don't know what that is, and
Yeah.
I really don't know what the impact is going to be to Little League and the overall park. So I can't really answer that. As you said, your proposal is a little broad brush.
For a reason.
You have a 100-ton crane. It takes up a little bit of space. If you-
Correct. And that's also why I'm putting it on the Millings.
So yeah, when do you need to be able to really lock this thing in?
Ideally, it'd be nice to lock it in within a month. That way I could start sending stuff out. It's coming. Summer's coming. Felt 65 degree weather today. I'm like, it's coming.
They used to have it at the high school. That didn't work out well there.
Oh, so just to fill everyone in, I attempted to reach out to the high school for around this date in the high school. The public schools were like, no. So that was my first one.
Still in session.
School is still in session, but
Did you go to, at Long Hill, you went to the,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, graduation's on the 10th.
They were afraid of the final eagle fly through. I was like, we're involved with that, right? But whatever. It's I
If
tried.
graduation's on the 10th, I could understand that.
no, 100%. But
Yeah, and they'll start shutting things down.
Right.
3 days
facilities.
before, at this point, there's nothing going on up there.
exactly.
There's no
listen,
fields, nothing.
That's why I was like, all right, no problem. That's
Right.
why I shifted gears and went somewhere else.
Well, that was part of the reason why I asked about the flexibility with the date. Because if it was after that, I don't know. And I'm not sure if you had touched base with Long Hill about potentially doing the weekend after. Because I'd imagine school's over, graduation's over, all the bigger stuff
There
is
was
done.
another reason why we didn't. It was just there were multiple factors that's how we honed in on this weekend. I forgot what it was. It was on our end, on their end. There were
Gotcha.
many
Okay.
factors involved.
Yeah. Okay.
I think overall, if we get a sense of what's happening in terms of the disruption to the park, for all we know, it'll be upended at that time, so that's not
Right.
obviously ideal. I don't know what's happening with Little League, but in general, Little League's in Little League's in full swing.
They should have their schedules by the end of this month, or even sooner.
Yeah, and we have been in email contact with them. We've talked to them, and they're
When is there
aware
a-
of what we're.
When is there a Saturday? They're not like
There isn't.
heavily in there.
There isn't.
Right.
There isn't.
And then if there isn't, then there's rain and they have a makeup. That's the problem. It's
You
not
don't
hard
want-
and
You want the
fast.
kids there, you want the teams there, but
yeah.
how long of a,
Couple hours. It wouldn't be an all-day event.
like half a day for, if you did it in
Half-
the morning?
half a day.
8 to noon, or?
But I would say at minimum 4 hours.
And do you think you could actually? So when you say the Millings lot, you're talking about the 3-4 lot, the one over by the health department.
No,
You're talking about down below.
correct.
Do you
Yeah.
think you can navigate those? I've seen the way you drive, Alex.
I know. That's so you should know. So you should know.
Yeah, you'll drive right through the middle.
That's right.
No,
Forge my own path.
we'll talk.
Yeah, that's fine. And like I said, everything's very fluid. You know, the goal is unity. If unity's not going to work out, then I'll happily switch to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Indian Ledge.
How amenable are you to Indian Ledge if you have to go there?
If I have to go there, it's fine. I'll just talk to Long Hill and be like, "Hey, can we come over?"
I mean, that almost seems like a better venue setup. You're just not going to have the captive audience that you would have at Unity. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
But you never know what's going on.
There's
up there.
advantages to both.
There could
Again,
be
you know,
soccer games going on up
correct.
there too.
And like I said, there's advantages to both. It's just the goal was stay in our fire district. But if not, it's fine. It's no big deal. I'll more than work with you guys. So. Good.
Okay. Good. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yep.
All right. Next on the agenda is Jessica here.
Yes. Yeah. Kelly is gonna pass these out for me. Hi, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Jessica Eaton. And I am going to briefly just tell you a little bit about why I'm here, and then tell you why I'm really here. Sorry, this is very hard for me. I put my story on the front of this so you guys could read it at your own leisure. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. I'm just going to tell you in a little summary of what happened to me. I was in tremendous pain for months. I went to 5 doctors 9 times, and I was even in the emergency room. I finally got a doctor to tell me that they would give me an MRI, which I knew would not show anything because it was not coming from my back. This pain was coming from my toes, going all the way up my leg on my left side, and it felt like a Charlie horse. My best friend Cindy, who's sitting right there, took me to the mall so that I could go for my MRI and get my piercings out. And while we were at the mall, it was by far the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life, and I fell to the floor. I remember crying so hard while I was getting the earrings out and just hearing Cindy say, "She's gonna cry, just keep going. You're not hurting her, she's not crying because of you." She helped me walk as we took breaks to the car, and finally we were in the car and I was screaming and crying at the top of my lungs as if I was in labor, and my foot began to go numb. Needless to say, there was a reason that I was in the pain. By the time I got to the hospital, I was put into multiple tests that were done by multiple different people to get the same exact answers. I had 8 blood clots going from my toes all the way up my leg to my groin. I was in a 5-hour surgery, rushed into a 5-hour surgery, where the doctor literally told my husband, "I'm going to try to save your wife's life." I woke up, my best friend since 8th grade, my husband, my love of my life since 14 years old, said, "I love you, babe. You are alive, but they're going to have to amputate your left leg." I knew that something was wrong. I knew I wasn't getting the help that I wanted, but I didn't want to be a burden anymore. So fast forward a week in the ICU, trying to reverse it, not seeing my kids because they weren't old enough to come up and I was too ill to go down. Finally, the doctors and the team could not reverse these 2 blood clot disorders that I got, and a week later they told me to bring my children over to the hospital. They would wheel me out. I could tell them what was going on and say goodbye to them just in case. The next morning I would be amputated. I have now been an amputee for 2 years, 5 months, and 10 days. It is the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, and I fight every second of every single day so that I can walk on my own without my walker. I went through 6 months of being in a wheelchair because of complications with my amputation. I had multiple surgeries, but I had my parents next to me the whole time. I had my husband next to me the whole time, and I had my ride or die next to me the whole time, every day after work. My kids came every day after school, and my friends would come, even when I got home. Kelly Malazzi would come and pick me up and lug my wheelchair and take me out to lunch just so I could get out. So 2 years later, I'm standing in front of you. I'm walking completely fine, and this is not because of nothing, okay? This is because I've been working at this every second of every day since I woke up and looked down without a leg. I'm here today standing before you, and you can read this and you can see how much more there is to tell, and know that this is the summary on paper, and this is a paragraph of the summary I'm giving to you. It has come to my attention that, have you ever heard of the Amputee Coalition? Who here knows anything about amputees? Or being a limb loss? Anybody? Because I didn't. I had no idea. Even after it happened, I had no idea. So it came to my attention that there's an amputee coalition, and Connecticut is not part of, not all 50 states recognize Amputee Awareness Month, which is April. I am proposing that we do at least a 3K, if not a 5K, walk on April 26th around Twin Brooks. I spoke to Colleen at the police department. I know that there is a race that's mapped out for you at the back of your papers. That's mapped out that uses some of the side streets. I know that that would involve closing roads and that police would have to be involved. I know that I am supported not only by family and friends, but by local businesses in our community that are willing to give to our event and to be at our event, like Prime 111, Crown Pizza, Pronto 123, The Corner Deli, Head to Toe, Rampage Skateboarding, Next Generation Skateboarding, which is my company. I've run and ran a skateboarding company this entire time. I run the whole program out of Westport Parks and Rec at Campo Beach, and I did it from my hospital bed. We also have Slime Before Time, Broken Gypsy, ESS, and Gray Graphics. There are over 5.6 million Americans with limb loss here in the United States. Sorry, I'm really a little trying to hold it together. Some were born that way, some people were in accidents, other people had cancer or other vascular problems that led to their amputation. And I can't help but still feel robbed of my life, my independence, my strength and endurance of everything, every single day. Everything is different now. As an amputee, with any given activity, you use 30% more energy than someone with all of their limbs. Life as an amputee is not only hard, exhausting, and painful, but it takes me twice as long to even get dressed than it did before. This has been by far the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. I'm on my 4th leg since 2023, which has not even been 2 years. April 8th was the day I got my first leg. So I'm on my 4th leg. Each socket costs $25,000, and my foot and ankle cost $25,000. This means, besides my medical bills of $80,000, which I still owe, I've spent over $200,000 for prosthetic limbs. When this happened to me, my father's friend began a GoFundMe for me to put my story up. I wasn't posting anything on Facebook or other social media ways to show my progress or regression in any way, shape, or form. But the amount of people that were willing to help and donate it was overwhelming. It was thousands of people I hadn't known. I had never heard of. That was friends asking friends, friends asking friends, friends asking family. And $20,000 later, within a week, it helped me. It helped pay for some of my costs. I would love to be able to create an annual event here in Trumbull to honor the Coalition for Amputee and begin to spread the word to make Connecticut one of the states that supports the coalition, and make sure that people are aware of others around them. You would be surprised how differently I've been treated throughout the different phases of my rehab, depending on what walking device I was using, whether I was in my wheelchair, using my walker, or using my cane. Now I'm using nothing, and you would be surprised. People won't even hold the door open anymore, but they would move aside when they could see it. So how many people have physical ailments that you can't see, or mental ailments that you can't see? To me, if even raising the smallest amount for the Amputee Coalition and spreading the word to at least our local community would be a good enough start. I have the support, like I said, of not only family and friends, but our local community businesses that are willing to participate. Like I said, we'd like it to be a 5K or a 3K similarly mapped out at Twin Brooks, solely being it's a flatter path for me to walk. Right now, I'm at 1.5 miles before tears. I'm trying to get to a 5K. That's why I say if it's a 3K this year, I'm okay with it. My goal last year was to get to a family function in Colorado with no cane, and I did it by August. My goal this year was to walk a 5K by the end of the spring without stopping. I understand that streets, like I said, would have to be closed and police officers would have to be hired. I spoke to Officer Colleen at the police department. She was extremely helpful with giving me prices and what it would entail. We will end the race at Twin Brooks to have my son, who's sitting right there. His best friend has a band named Captured. They played at Trumbull Day last year, and they've played over here at the gazebo. And they will be playing at the end of it, and there will be local businesses, like I said, and restaurants and food trucks or whoever out there giving food and drinks, whether they're donating it or they donate a portion of their profits. Everyone will get a shirt that's printed on front and back. And we want just to raise as many, we want to raise as much awareness right now as possible. It's not even about the financial part, it's about the awareness of it. It's something that has hit my family extremely hard, and the only true people that know about it are my closest friends and family. Thank you. Any questions? You can all put your jaws back up now. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm trying to make light of it sometimes.
Only question, it's a great,
I'd like to
noble
do it
cause.
April 26th. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Yeah, that was the only thing. It seems kind of an aggressive timeline.
It is, but April's Amputee Awareness Month, and my birthday's the 25th, so that's why I was going for the 26th. It is.
My
but
experience
like
with races and things, it usually takes a long time to get these things
It does
in place.
with numbers, but I've had numerous events with my skateboarding company at numerous different places, at different skate jams and everything, and with the right people helping me out and supporting me, and the right people signing up for the race, it can happen. It could be as simple as people registering the day of, signing a waiver that I already have made by my attorney that's legal, and paying and getting their t-shirt. It doesn't have to be, rides and games and huge at first. Everything starts somewhere. So it is ambitious, but so am I.
The red dots on the map,
That simply was just from what I was using. It has nothing to do with anything.
where the police would be? No.
I think, that's where the police would be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, the police wouldn't have to be there if if it was just around the park and not on the streets.
They're not like rest stops or water stations, or you just use the
Those
map?
are the kilometer markers.
5K.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd have to have tables set up with like somebody there with water. And people would have to know that this is the beginning of it and the first thing, and, you know, bring your water packs, and, you know, there will be food, and it will be advertised and posted, and everything. And I understand if you want to wait a year and you want me to do it bigger and badder and everything next year, but it would just be nice to start.
I have a question,
Yeah.
and I fully understand April's Amputee Awareness Month, and I think it's a great cause.
Yes.
My question is are you stuck? Are you set on it being in April?
Yes. For that reason only, that it's Amputee Awareness Month. And
Yeah.
if I start it in a different month, I don't think it will continue in April.
Okay.
Any other questions?
You said you were, you're working in Westport, right?
I do.
Alright.
I have the support of the,
Them also.
Mhm.
Why is Connecticut not, like,
part of the coalition.
yeah,
Because there just has not enough people signed in order for it to be a part of it. Not all the states are.
okay,
And it's our own fault for not being part of it.
okay. Have you like spoke to Westport, rec department there?
I work closely with them because I run their skateboarding program. So I've spoken to them not about doing it there.
Oh, yeah,
They're
just
both
out of
my
curiosity,
hometown.
have you done that
But
if in April to do that?
to do that
Is
there
that
in
so-
April,
a similar thing in April because I just said I don't know if
like
we're gonna
at
be
the
able to
beach
do
or
this.
something you're saying?
Yeah,
Sherwood.
yeah, just to make
Like
sure.
at Campo Beach or something?
Yeah, just to make sure.
They have already something going on there.
Okay.
That's similar around the same time, so
Yeah.
that's why I didn't want to do it in Westport.
Yeah.
Plus, I also want to keep it separate from my skateboarding company.
Okay.
Although it will be together, I didn't want it, like my skate park is Campo Beach.
Okay.
And I just didn't want to, even though all my clients would be at this event, I didn't want it to be intertwined with the events I do at the skate park, if that makes sense.
Understood. Would they be at any of your? Would they microphone?
Would they be there?
Why'd you? Yeah. Why not bring more?
More people here
Yeah.
tonight?
No.
Oh, I
Not
was
tonight.
like, what are you talking about?
Bring more people.
From
in-
my,
Yeah. To support.
You have to understand, I run a camp that has at least 25 kids in it every week in the summer. I have hundreds of people coming from Westport that are here to support.
Okay.
Plenty of people.
Understood.
From Norwalk, Westport, Wilton, Weston, all over that area.
Okay.
Everybody's very supportive, and you know, I had to keep my leg cool. I have skulls all over it. Like the kids think it's awesome. You know, they want to see me ride,
Yep.
and I'm just too wants to get back up there. You know.
Okay. All right.
I think it would be really important though to show them also, and my own children.
I think it's very important. Don't get me wrong.
You know, I just think it. I couldn't find skateboarding lessons for my kids, so I started a company, and it took off, and I partnered with Parks and Rec and Westport. You know,
Yeah.
so that's who I am. I go for it. I've already spoken to the person to make the shirts. They're coming up with the design. I've spoken to the restaurants about what they could provide. I've spoken to the other merchandisers about what they would provide, what they would donate, what they would sell to the other people. Like I said, it's not necessarily about the donations, but the awareness.
Do you have any input on, you know, there's a lot of loose ends to tie up within a month, and now, you know, you're dealing with the health department now also, right, with food down at the park, and
It's obviously a worthy cause, and I commend you for all the work that you've done
Thank you.
for yourself,
Thank
as
you.
well as what you're trying to do
Well-
for others.
It's for my kids, and my husband.
I'll be honest with you, it is a little overwhelming for me, how much would go into making this happen in such a short timetable.
I understand that too. I do. I get it.
If you work with Parks and Rec, then you know it can be.
I don't work with Parks and Rec. Yeah, I do, but I'm not in Trumbull. I don't. But
No,
in
but
Westport, yeah.
we're all of the same. We're all the same breed. You spoke with Colleen Fitch, and I have no idea really what the specifics are, but we run the Sunset Run. We're utilizing Twin Brooks really entirely differently within the last year. Last year we ran for the first time a mini Ironman. Okay, and it was daunting just to get the roads closed, and we are fully integrated with PD. So I know that it isn't.
Right.
Nobody's going to try to knock your idea down.
It's expensive. I'll give you that. I know how much it costs per officer per hour.
It is, and then really the question is where do they need to be? Where do you need all of these things stationed out? What the extent of it is within the park, the starting point, all of those elements. I mean, honestly, I'd love to sit down with you and discuss this and flesh this out and see if I can get my mouth to work. Flesh this out a little bit more. I really don't think we can make that timetable for April. But I understand. I mean, April might work out very well as a constant. It's before the farmers market kicks in. It could have a really nice spot at the beginning of a season without it upending anything else, other than figuring out the logistics to make this thing a go. But I'm just one person in the system. I have a little bit of experience with running these things, but we're still learning the area you're asking to go.
I hear you.
But
And the only reason, like I said, is that that's the flattest
it is
part that I can think of.
No,
that
you got it right.
Accommodate, like a lot of the trails are just Trumbull's hilly.
There's not many flat areas in Trumbull.
No, there's
right?
not.
Unless you want to run around the
Yeah,
track.
but what if we kept it to the path, like Kelly just said, and just went around 3 times? Like, didn't utilize the side streets.
Just go around the lake, around the.
Just
around
keep
the
it strictly park,
and just do that 3 times. And the distance doesn't matter as much as doing it.
the cost.
Yeah.
There's even been talk of, me talking to facilities and trying to do it at the high school around the track. Also is another idea that me and Colleen discussed, but, and that's flat.
It is definitely flat.
So
But
that's
they're
another
gonna
thing, but I
take-
haven't spoken to, I think I have to talk to Deb Cohen at facilities for that.
Yeah, it would have to be something that would be integrated with all the other things that are going on up
Right.
there. So
The
it's.
end of the year stuff and sports.
Um,
and-
I don't think we can answer the question like yes, no, 3 times around the track, or yes, there's another solution here.
Okay,
Why don't you reach out to Noreen, our program manager over at Parks and Rec?
okay,
We'll all sit around the table and talk about some of the logistics. If it's really,
okay.
you really need a launch point for this event.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is, the commission is also weighing in on this before you sit down with us. But I'll still be glad to sit down with you no matter what.
Thank you.
And let's see what is practical
Okay.
and what our challenges are and what we think we could do or what we can't. And see how we can move that to the event you're dreaming of.
Okay. I
Fair enough?
appreciate that. Fair enough.
Absolutely. I'm Dimitri, by the way.
I'm Jess.
Got that.
Well, thank you all for your time.
You're
Very
welcome.
proud of your progress.
Pleasure, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your story. Okay, next up is Barnum Foundation here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Janine Capistrano. This is my 3rd time visiting you. I'm here on behalf of the Barnum Foundation for Life. Sorry. We're a 501c3 located in Shelton. We're at 6 Corporate Drive in Shelton. And I'm here requesting Island Brook Park, the 4 softball fields, for Friday, June 13th from 1 to 5 p.m. for our foundation softball fundraiser. Last year, I was approved for 2 food trucks during the event, and it worked great. So if we could do that again, that would be great. I spoke to Kyle, and he's not sure the date is available yet, but he allowed me to come down to ask for the actual event, and then he'll get back to me on the availability.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if you had checked on that date yet. So you don't know?
He won't know until the end of the month when the other approvals come in, but it's a school day, and we're in Friday afternoon, so I don't think there's going to be any conflicts. It's the same Friday we've had the last 2 years.
I remember that discussion, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time? Excuse me, what time?
1 to 5,
And what was the date again? The 13th?
Friday, June 13th.
Well, Friday the 13th.
What time does typically Little League start? 5:30?
5:30.
That includes breakdown. I don't even know if we'll be on the fields that late.
Was it the same, approximately the same time last year?
It's exactly the same.
It is
Yeah,
same weekend?
This is the third year.
Same weekend? Okay.
Yep. Same weekend, same Friday, same time frame.
Are you,
By June 13th, some Little League may even be done by that point. Aren't they getting close to All-Stars by then?
I don't know what they're doing with that either. They could be into practice at that point. But about how many participants do you think would be within the park? It's a vehicle
Yep.
parking issue, just that popped into my head.
Yeah, we actually had about 120 total, including all the players and the spectators last year. And I don't think there were any complaints about parking. We have our Barnum Financial Group has their mid-year meeting at the Trumbull Marriott. So we have all of our folks there, and then anyone who wants to participate comes over to the fields after the meeting for the fundraiser.
You've got me flat-footed here. Where did you hold it last year?
Island Brook.
You were at Islandbrook, and you didn't have any problems for.
We actually pushed her there last year. You
2
wanted,
years ago.
You wanted it someplace else, and we suggested Island Brook, and I
Right.
guess it worked
Yeah,
out
we
well for you.
requested Unity because I wasn't familiar with Island Brook. You sent us to Island Brook. It was perfect.
It worked out though. You were able to put 120 in there without
Yeah,
problem.
I think they must have carpooled or.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you put the food trucks to the right of the restroom on that paved
Yes,
area
on,
going down.
where the gate goes down.
Yes,
So
yes,
we parked the 2 food trucks
yes.
there. Everyone else had parked accordingly.
Yes.
It was great.
No, it worked out well, I remember. Okay.
Fine by me.
Anyone? No? Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
All righty. Okay, can I have a motion to close public comment and return to our regular meeting? Colin, seconded by John, all in favor?
Sorry.
Go ahead. Oh,
I didn't get on a list, but I just had something I had to say.
what, representing what organization?
Trumbull Youth Lacrosse?
Okay, just, someone want to make a motion to, she's not on the agenda, just
I make a motion for her to appear in front of us.
second, all in favor? Come right up.
Am I on? I'm
Yeah.
on. My
Just-
name is Brooke Sforza. I'm on the Trumbull.
Just a name and address.
Oh, sorry. Brooke Sforza, 86 Deer Run Drive. I'm on the Trumbull Youth Lacrosse Board, and after our board meeting, I was informed that someone needed to come down and formally request that the lacrosse program have use of Indian Ledge Park for their season and their practice, including, but not limited to, games practices and our June 6th picnic, which we have done in the past. This is my first year on the board, but the picnic is a recurring thing. Okay. I just really wanted to come hang out.
All right, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, now we have let's go back to make a motion to return to the regular meeting. All right, Rodney, seconded by Colin, all in favor? Okay, return to our meeting. acceptance of minutes. Do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the monthly minutes for February? Anyone? John? You good? If not, just make a motion to approve. Someone make a motion to approve. Second. Bruce, was that a motion or a scratch? A scratch. All right, give it to Colin. Okay, all in favor? Okay, so moved. Correspondence. The only correspondence we received was the correspondence of people requesting to come to the meeting here tonight. So I didn't have anything else other than who presented tonight. So move to old business. And, you know, we had that Live Free movie night come here last. We never voted on that. We never voted on it. And afterwards we told her, yes, we're most likely going to approve a go ahead and you know, get your info in order, and we'll vote on it this month. So does someone want to make a motion on that? Rodney, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, so move. So that function is officially approved. Anything else under old business?
Just wanted to follow up. I know I said this last meeting. I did hear back from the leader of a scout group who I mentioned and talked to them about potentially looking at the path between basically Dale Road and Revere, the Davido property. He loved the idea of it and said that it would be a great project for an Eagle Scout. He said that at the moment, right now, no one's that far along in the process, but there are a couple individuals who are working towards it, and that's the ultimate goal. So he said he would connect back with me when somebody's at that point of their process, and then we can move forward with whatever that would entail. So just wanted to give you guys an update.
Yeah, and that's to pretty much just put kind of like a pathway going through there.
Yep. Yeah. And also just to give a little bit more background of this, my neighbor, who's directly across the street from me, passed away suddenly this past winter. He was heavily involved with scouts throughout Trumbull and then also throughout the state. But they had mentioned too that they would like to dedicate that in his name. Really fantastic person, really fantastic family, and it was a massive surprise. So.
Okay. Anything else under old business? Okay, so let's move to new business. Trumbull High School pickleball, which we previously discussed, and I think she still has to iron some dates out with the rec department. But we can go ahead and discuss it in principle as far as if the dates match.
We've approved that before.
You know, when we looked at I don't believe there was any action.
Go back.
I saw her in school. I think there was too many open-ended questions that we didn't have answers to.
Yeah, and she didn't come, but
Right.
we talked about, we said, yeah, that would work out well, and I think we kind of proved it in principle, but we needed more information, which we still do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motion to approve if the proper channels are followed.
So, I think motion to approve if the proper channels were followed, which is pretty much what we're probably going to do tonight.
One thing, I asked her, the whole school, it's like 2,000.
No, it's open. In other words, it's open to the school. They can opt to participate. I don't think it's 2,000 people are going to show up. That's why I asked that. I think people are going to be scheduled ahead of time so people don't show up for open play. Dee, did you?
Yeah, in concept, I mean, anything is great and doable, but when we get down to the details, we're going to be able to determine how many people are actually capable of participating with this, how she's going to be able to limit it, what kind of parking we have. So the idea is kind of open-ended right now. So I think that with any of this after, in concept, the commission approves it, we can sit down with any of these organizations and try to see if there's, there's a space, if they really understand what's involved with, putting something like this on a particular time of year, all of that kind of stuff. I mean,
Well,
that's
she even said if we need to, they'll cap it.
well, yeah, but that would be the point. There would ultimately need to be some limits. But what kind of brackets are they doing? What kind of age groups? How does she see it in her mind working successfully for her goal of fundraising? Put that on the table. Let's see from our experience how that can work and where we're going to hit some roadblocks.
Right.
We'll work with anybody.
Well, does someone want to make a motion? We can at least get it going so she can at least begin discussing this. Do we need to approve it in principle so she can go to the next step to see if it's feasible?
It's concept.
Yeah.
The idea isn't, at least on first blush, problematic for the commission to allow fundraising for this purpose.
Right. But we've already approved it.
That's what I was just going to
It's
say.
already been approved.
Yeah.
So
Then,
okay.
then
Moot point.
send her our way.
So we're good. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Touch a truck. I think it's a great idea. Just we need to pin down a proper area. I personally think Unity would be great because of the captive audience of all the Little League and Babe Ruth people there that would love to go over. It's just you have a paving problem, and if Little League's real busy, you may have a parking problem up there.
We would be busy.
Unless it's later in the day. I don't know. It's hard without the Little League and Babe Ruth schedules out.
It's difficult not knowing what their plans are for the park. It's difficult not knowing what potentially is happening at various times of the summer. We know full well that it's going to happen sometime. We just don't know when. So for all we know, the place is going to be upended. That's the bigger issue. So if it's something that really has to happen, you really want to see it go through, go to an area where we know that we're not, starting off with some sort of an obstacle. It's not to say that it isn't, but you can't really plan an event
Right.
with it could happen, it may not happen in the 11th hour. They decided to rip, a storm drain out that's going to close the main drag down. That's not going to work.
What are they planning on up there? If they do have paving while Little League is up there, just shifting everyone over? Are they actually going to close a portion of the park?
There's areas the way that it is right now that are going to get dug up just for some of the drainage issues while Little League is actually there. But it's, it'll be targeted to one specific area, and try to recover it. But you're hoping to basically come through the entire park and then get down to the back end.
More or less enter through Bayberry. Bypass all that.
I mean, the safe bet would be Indian Ledge.
The safe bet would be Indian Ledge.
Is this something you want to do annually? No. Oh, just for the 100th?
It's for the 100th. Once, done.
Are you looking for? I know you're saying Unity. Are you specifically looking at Unity for the amount of people that would be there already, or is it just space?
District.
District.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Okay.
You want me to speak into the thing?
Yeah, you can come up.
Yeah, because I was going to make a suggestion too. Is I think that I don't know where you'd want to go at Indian Ledge. If it be up by the turf field, or if it be more by the BMX
gravel lot?
The parking would probably be in the new lot that we just paved, and the actual show itself would be the Millings parking lot that's in between both lots.
Right.
Again, I'm having machines come. I don't want to do any damage.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Like I said, I'm not against. Indian Ledge.
Yeah.
It's technically not my district.
Yeah. I got
It doesn't matter. I can literally make a phone call and just hey.
How many vehicles do you think you can actually put down in the lower lot?
I was thinking somewhere in the area of 20.
20 vehicles in that lot?
Yeah.
Like big vehicles?
Yeah. I'll put them in the river if I have to. I don't know. No, it was just, it's a rough guess. You know, it's not a big thing like I was originally planning, like I was saying before. This is just, you know, trying to put something together. You know, whoever gets back to me, gets back to me. Worst case scenario, I can say, too many, never mind. That's why, yeah, maybe Indian Ledge would be the better option.
Could you put the same amount of vehicles there?
At Indian Ledge?
Indian Ledge, I could put a fleet.
You could tons up there.
Yeah, I could put a fleet up there.
It's large. The advantage to Unity is clearly that there is a lot of activity there. It's a little bit more, it's more contained.
Correct.
And so it's
And
certainly
there's shade.
Yeah. In concept, I'm not against it. It's about just working out the logistics. So from the commission level, if you have some concerns with it, I mean, I know this bozo. I trust him very well.
Would you want to move it
very
to the
much.
fall?
No. Like I said, there are other events that we have going on, especially like her gala is in the fall, so it's like we're trying to kind of space everything out, and I was supposed to be the first thing, so this is what worked out. Again, if I have to move, I'll move. What doesn't matter. I'm trying to be as fluid as I can with this. That's all.
Alex, as long as we're not going to be doing any harm to what's there.
No.
Or how do you know? What, you got a crystal ball?
No, because if there is any damage done, I'll fix it.
Sure. only if you get permission from DeFura. So no, I don't mistrust the event as being run well and fitting well within that park at that time of year. It's just
It would be a home run at that time.
Ooh, look at you! Ooh, wow! Throw him out.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't have red flags on the event. Alex is certainly
Green flags.
silence. He whatever the magic number of vehicles that he could bring in there, whatever it was, is what it would be, and would be appropriate for the space. So I don't have a concern that there's going to be a steam shovel in the middle. Yes, you could get one of those. I'd come and see it in the middle of the picnic ground. It'll be appropriate for the space. So if it's good
And
with
you
the
can
commission.
demonstrate by digging up the sand in the volleyball pit over there.
With the steam shovel.
After
Mr.
T
McGregor.
just fixes everything, yeah. So if it was approved for Unity, but all of a sudden the paving is in full swing, you could move it over to Indian Ledge?
Sure. Whatever.
Again, days matter. So if we want to target something,
I'm targeting that 7 and 8. That's Saturday and Sunday. If I could, and again, worst case scenario, if either park doesn't work out for some reason, I can find something else. But
I believe there's usually less games on a Sunday over there.
More or less.
Sunday would be a better day. I think
There's
less
always
games on a
activity.
Sunday.
The only reason why I didn't do Sunday was because I figured a rain day, and my rain day would be the next day.
Right.
yeah, don't count on that.
Early April, mid-April. Okay. So discussion? Proposal on this? Rodney, what do you think?
I think it would be a lot more helpful just to know the schedule, but I would love the idea.
Of it being at Unity with the kids there?
Yeah. And
The schedule issue is ours. It either is going to work or it's not. In concept, you guys can. I don't know another way to say it.
yeah.
Can we vote just in concept that if it's not at Unity, it'll be at Indian Ledge? And we
Yes.
love the idea?
Yes, yes.
I make a motion.
Second. Bruce, get Bruce in the minutes.
Scratch this.
It wasn't a scratch.
So just clarify your motion. What is your exact motion?
I make a motion to approve the use of For the Touch a Truck at Unity Park. If that does not work out on June 7th, then at Indian Ledge, or the rain date of June 8th at both places.
Okay. And John and Bruce had second that. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay. So now it's just schedules and paving, basically.
And I'll be.
Which you're going to be right on that stuff anyway.
Exactly, and I'll be talking to.
Plus.
Okay. Okay. Next, the April 5K. I think she's just going to work with the rec department to try to. I don't think we need to make a motion on anything right now.
You are completely right in your concern about putting together an event or a road race as conceived in this short a period of time. That I've never seen anything happen. I know miracles happen, and she's obviously living proof. But the logistics are large, and it's a tight time of year. If it really is something that she wants to do, is that me? On a much smaller scale, just as a kickoff of some sort of this type of an event, I'm sure that we could pare it down into something manageable. But I mean, food trucks and road closures, and and I don't even understand what that map is. That map kind of perplexed me. So I'm sure that would have to be, explained. We would have to have.
Goes out the end of the park, around Pinewood Lake, out to Booth Hill, and back through the side streets, coming. I forget the names of those streets.
But the closures of those streets is mammoth, and it.
No, road alone.
Yes, and it's like, so having that stationed, what amount of time is being allocated for the participants to get from each section all the way through, so that you could sort of sequentially open them back up again. All those things require a lot of time sitting down with PD, and usually they're not. Well, PD will, yeah. I mean, they know road races in various forms, but it's generally not where we have people that have various physical challenges
It may
with
take
getting it
longer
through.
to
It might
get
take a
through.
significantly
Yeah.
long period of time to get
Right.
through that, and to do them justice, that would have to be built into the times that the event would actually be running. Bad pun, but operating. But that's
It sounds what she's proposing would be great with time and more time to organize it.
again, in concept, I think it's good in a lot of ways. I mean, it's bringing attention to a worthy cause. I certainly want to continue to expand Twin Brooks as a launch point for all kinds of community events. It's what it was designed for, so that fits right in line with that. It's the logistics. It's logistics with such a short timeline for us to be able to pull this together properly. I like if she's really wants to keep this. What is it? Was Amputee Awareness Month? Is that correct?
Yeah.
In April, I'm like, April is as good as it's going to get without creating more problems for other events that are already scheduled. So that's a nice open period of time. It starts off the season, so it would be great, especially going into the future. Or if we're able to pull something off this year, it's not a problematic time.
Worst case scenario, she said, let's do it next year, if we can possibly.
I'd love to. I meant it. I would love to sit down with her and kind of hash out various ideas and seeing what we're looking at, what other organizations nationally have done, how long of a race, what the details of what other people have done.
Yeah, she had some good business backing too.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, and I know she had mentioned this, but even the loop at Twin Brooks, just to do the loop around there, keep it all contained. Because one of the first things that I thought of too was obviously beyond the road closures and the mammoth undertaking there, but you are talking about a fair amount of participants who have physical challenges. If something were to happen, if somebody fell, something like that, it could be that could be pretty severe. You'd have to make sure you have access, right? And now you have roads closed and or making sure you have medical facilities or care on site ready to go and get right. Yeah. But if it's contained within it, within the park, at least to start, might be easier, more feasible. I don't know.
Well, less complicated.
Yeah.
The Twin Brooks, for all of its values, is always going to have a limitation of how many people you can actually fit in it at any given time. So we've certainly learned limits there, but that doesn't mean that a road race can't happen. It's just the logistics. Sometimes people are brought in as a drop off. People are shuttled in. There's all different ways of doing it depending on the how large of an event we're running. Sunset Run manages that way without us having to park people on the beach. It has to fit within the space that we have with the number of people and participants that she's hoping to bring in. And that's what sitting down and kind of hashing out some of those details entails.
Okay. All right, next, Barnum Foundation. I believe this would be her third year, and it worked out well last 2 years. Someone want to make a motion on that? Just your microphone, sorry.
I'll make a motion for the Barnum Foundation softball tournament on June 13th, beginning at 1 p.m.
Second. Colin, all in favor? So moved. And the next is Trumbull Youth Lacrosse. That's part of pretty much the field use policy, and everybody's submitting their information anyway.
Yeah, other than a fundraiser, they don't really have to come here.
Yeah.
It's just that's just scheduling out the thing for a particular purpose.
Right.
So no issue.
She did mention the picnic. Do we have to do something separate for that?
No.
I believe we already approved that.
They do that annually anyway.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we have in the past, yes. Yes.
Just don't
Yeah.
that was a microphone.
Okay. Okay, did we cover everything? Yes. Pickleball, touch a truck, race, Barnum Festivals. Okay. Yeah, we covered everything. We're still under new business. Anything else under new business? No? Superintendent's report? Dee, do you want to expound at what Matt sent in?
Any questions? I always love just going from where you guys have questions about it. Anything in particular?
It looks really good, the splash pad at beaches.
You finally saw it? Yeah, it's real nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, we're closing in on finishing the interior plumbing. Weather has not been kind for that sort of thing this year, but they were there again today. I suspect everything will be complete before the end of the week. Then we'll go into remediation outside because a lot of mud, a lot of disruption, but we'll get that all tied in. That one's going to be a winner.
It's quite large.
Yep, that was the plan.
Yeah.
You want to get more people out there. Believe it or not, there are not more lines going from the filter house out there. It's just laid out differently. Whereas before it was more consolidated. Now there's more places for them to run.
Seems like you can fit a lot of people on that.
That's the idea.
On that patio there. Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be good.
Is almost every one of those structures there secrete water?
All
of them.
All of them.
Because there were even some shorter ones there.
All of them. Yeah, everything there in some way, manner, or form does something with water at various times. It's all a timed, scheduled program that beep 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 beep, and yeah, it's going to be cool. You don't like that beep 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 beep? It's a beep 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 beep. Similar thing. We're ready to go up at Indian Ledge. Indian Ledge is funded to have that splash pad replaced this year. I don't know if that was reported to the commission, but yeah, we were granted capital funding for that, and it will be pretty much on the same scale as beaches.
So that'll be closed this year?
We don't know. But the one that's there right now is probably going to get ripped out and replaced this year. We just don't know when. What we're trying to do is have the companies go, once they're in town, you try to make, get the, as they say, the economy of scale of their presence. They're doing the work at Tashua. It's a much smaller splash pad at Tashua, but they're doing that installation. So depending on what opportunities avail themselves first, they'll work on that one and then jump to the other. So
What's the status of the pool up there?
the pool is has been challenging. Quite frankly, I have no confidence to say to the town that it's absolutely going to open on time. It's possible, but there's still a lot of work to be done. If the commission isn't aware of what we encountered, we just got bound up in state permitting. We had everything locked up. We had our contractors there. We agreed upon a price. We kept it in budget, in scope, and redesigned it to do all and more. And literally all of those permits for all of the approvals died on somebody's desk in Hartford. Just died for almost 3 months. 3 months, if you thought back of what summer, fall of last year was like, it was phenomenal. It was dry. The amount of work that could have actually been accomplished would have been remarkable. By the time we actually got everything checked off, eventually, with a lot of pressure, town pressure, and from our engineers, it's like just signed the thing. It was no big deal, but we finally got it signed off, and then we ran smack into winter. And then by the time we had any opportunities to do any work, the biggest issue then became Tashua was built without actual accurate as-builts. So lots of underground surprises, utility surprises, which have compounded efficiencies in getting that thing squared away. I think we're past them, but the time spent to address all of those things, I think, has been detrimental to our timelines. So, fingers crossed, but it's still been a lot of work. Drive by there, it looks like you won't recognize what you see. Tremendous amount of work. Building addition is all in place, but they still haven't even begun the new electrical services up there, because that was ultimately what was required. The place, it was designed with placement of the electrical services and the transformers as where everyone thought they were. Now they are not, so everything has to be redone. Construction challenges.
Anything else, for the Superintendent?
Any questions? No?
Bruce, you got anything?
Hot dog.
No? Okay. You have the division reports, you have the recreation report and the park ranger report. Any questions for Dee on those? Seems like they're busy. Oh, Dee, one question. What are the plans for when you first drive into Twin Brooks on the right, that nice open space there on the circle? You guys are kind of clearing that out. I see some, what's the plans for that?
The peninsula, that area at one point was just brushed over. If you're familiar with Twin Brooks, that is the pinch point where all the water flows ultimately down towards Bridgeport. It narrows to a very, very, like an hourglass waste right there. So if there's any debris, if there's storm damage, whatever, it all ends up in that point. So, and it happens all the time. It's happened with a couple of storms this winter. So to get to it in the state that it was in we would do a lot of damage. So the concept was clear that area out so that we would be able to access the pinch point for periodic maintenance and then turn it into a meadow. And so we actually got approvals and some funding from the Conservation Committee to fully seed that as another pollinator meadow. Why that works out is it can grow, but being herbaceous plant material, you could drive Alex's 100-ton Grove crane through there to the ground. Go for it. And you're just basically moshing it down. The plant will regrow because you're not having to snap trees and get out of the way.
It's a great looking piece of land over there.
It'll be very pretty. If you really see it, we put together a pathway, both so people could walk all the way out to the end. It's kind of serpentine to go out to the end, but as well our vehicles could go out to the end when necessary. So you'll have a path just for just general recreational purposes, and wildflowers all the way around. Cut it down once a year and off you go.
I always thought before, I'm like, boy, that would be a great area for a picnic if there was, parking and
you still could go in there, and down at the end by the water, there's it opens out. The intent was eventually to put some benches out there right by the water's edge.
Yeah, it's very aesthetically pleasing over there. All right, anything else? No. Okay, someone want to make a motion to adjourn? No one? John? Second? No one wants to go home? All right, second, everyone? All right, Rodney gets that one. All in favor? So moved. It wasn't bad.